Hi, good evening. Myself Sapon Samaddar. I am working for last 13 years as a real-time DBA in an MNC company in Hyderabad. So there, I was working in previously on the complete DBA part, and then my last project, I moved to the performance tuning. So other than the DBA, I am working in the performance tuning in Oracle part only. So the performance tuning is the added part of the Oracle DBA. Now, along with this real-time experience, I am working as a part-time trainer also. So I am involved with this AKA School of Technical Department where I am working as a Oracle DBA trainer. So for the Oracle DBA, before we start, we need to learn the 2-3 things. One is, who want to become a DBA? What are the necessary skills required to learn this one? So for this one, the basic part of the SQL need to know, where some of the query need to write it, so that when they are executing this one, they will get the result from the database and they need to identify it. But this SQL learning is not similar to the developer side. Now, as a DBA, we need to first learn what is Oracle. So Oracle basically is a collection of the data. So collection of the data, we can think, suppose everyone nowadays has the Aadhaar card, or everyone has nowadays the bank account. So if we consider about the bank account details, then for that person, all the details like address, mobile number, email ID, account details, and whether it's a saving or current type, what are the minimum amount, if they want to open any recurring deposit, all these things will be stored. Now that is for the one person. So lot of people are doing this one. So every day they are doing a lot of transactions that need to be stored somewhere else. So that storing is done by different vendor. One vendor is Oracle. So in the Oracle database, those information will be stored. Now, only the storing is not important. Another important thing is you need to fetch the data whenever it's required. So the requirement is like fetching the data. It will be in a report, so everyone can able to understand, and the requirement to get that details within a stipulated time. If suppose we are writing a query and we are executing that one, it's taking 10 minutes, but this would complete 1 minute. So that is the performance issue. So Oracle database will provide the details so that everything can be fetched within a stipulated time. So DBA is to manage the Oracle database in a proper way. Now, what are the responsibility of the Oracle DBA? So Oracle DBA's responsibility, first need to install the Oracle software. After that, they need to create the database. Then that will go to the run DBA and they will do the day-to-day activity. What are those? Starting up and shutting down the Oracle database. That is one responsibility. Second, lot of users are coming to the Oracle database. They require different access. So for that access, user management is very important thing, and that will be managed by the Oracle DBA. Now, as I given the example of banking system, so for that account, whether it's a saving account or salary account, some table will be required where the details will be stored. So the lot of Oracle object is there, like table, index, views. This can be learned during the SQL chapter. So those management of the schema will be done by the DBA every day. Now, another important thing is there, that is called backup and recovery. So in the banking system, suppose 10 lakhs users are there. They are doing huge transactions. Some day something happened and all the data corrupted. Then it will be a huge loss. So for that one, DBA need to take the backup of the Oracle database and store somewhere else, so that if there is any collapse or anything happened from that backup, it can be restored. So that is called recovery. This is a very important task for Oracle DBA, and they are doing this task. Now backup, lot of organizations have different strategy. Based on their strategy, they will take that backup. Now other responsibilities are applying the patch. So what is patch? Patch is Oracle every quarter end, they are giving some patches, which is a bug fixing. Like our mobile operating system, we are getting some patches. We need to install it so nobody can hack our system. So for this one, Oracle also giving that patch. Other than patch, other application patches also there. Some we are using the standard program where we are getting some type of issue. So Oracle will give that patch to fix this issue. So that is the task of the DBA also. So that is the day-to-day activity of the Oracle DBA. Other than this, another important task is there, that is called cloning. So cloning means Oracle DBA is managing the database. Now, other people are there, they are called the developers. So they are building the report, they are building the query. So for that one, they require one environment similar like production, where the recent data is there, but they are not impacting the production data. So to make the development environment, DBA will create a clone of the production database. So that is a copy of the production database. So that is called cloning, and this is the another important task of Oracle DBA. So these are the few tasks is there. Other than this, network management is there, listener management is there, table space management is there, migration is there. Another thing is high availability features. Lot of task is there, and this task will be distributed among different DBA. So DBA is one of the very critical tasks in the industry. And if we learn this one, there are a lot of scope is there to work in the industry. So as a conclusion and the summary part, we need to learn the DBA very carefully. To understand this one, first we need to learn the little bit of the SQL, that means structured query language, and then we should go for learning the DBA of the few of the chapters, what are the responsibility I said, and this will go in depth details when we will teach us every chapter. And once you learn this one, you will get a lot of opportunity to give the interview in the industry and able to crack the job in the Oracle DBA, database administrator.